Okay, so it happened. iOS, macOS, visionOS, iPadOS, watchOS, tvOS 26 is here. Why do they name it 26? God knows. I miss, there's consecutive numbers, 18, 19, 20. That would have been great. But no, here we are. WWDC25 wrapped up, and we got some pretty decent updates. So the biggest unifying factor, aside from the name, is the new liquid glass. I really think it's pretty. It's essentially a pane of glass with everything as a layer. So the app icons are a layer over a layer of glass. And if you're scrolling through something, the layer behind it will be where you're scrolling, where the controls are above it. So it's like see-through, the light refracts off of it. It's really, really cool. It looks very realistic. I think it's really pretty. It's across all of the new OSs, even tvOS, which I think is very interesting. It looks really pretty on the Apple Watch. I think that's gonna make the Apple Watch awesome. Let's start with Apple Watch. Apple Watch 26, watchOS 26, whatever it's called, has some very interesting features. My favorite being the smarter widgets. I love using the widgets on my Apple Watch. I love that widget screen. I think it's really cool. And now with the widgets, one being glassy and two being smarter, I'm very excited to see that. I really think that's awesome, but it's also very minor. Next on the watch is Workout Buddies, just an AI machine telling you that you're doing great, interrupting your music to tell you that you're doing great. I don't know. So that happened. Next, we got iOS. iOS 26, honestly, is awesome. I love how iOS now looks with the new glassy design. I wish it was more, but if they had done more, they probably would have pissed everybody off who's over the age of 25. So I'm happy with what they did. I wish they made the app icons round or give you the option to do something more than just the square. The only app icon they did really change is the camera app icon, and that comes along with a new camera redesign. The icon is simpler, and the redesign just makes the camera app simpler, essentially. Instead of having all of these features, now you just have photo, video. You swipe up to get the more settings. And so it's very interesting. I'm very excited to see how it works. Not only was the camera app redesigned, but now we also have the Photos app redesigned. Again, with essentially it's more in the middle of what iOS 17 and iOS 18 were. So that's gonna be much better, I think, than what iOS 18 was last year, because that was crap. Phone app was also redesigned, just makes it simpler. You got some new iMessage tools. I'm in 6th grade again, I feel like. I can put a background on my chats, so that's cool. I don't really care. Now, some of the best things, adult problems, hold time. Whenever you're on hold, now the phone is going to be on hold for you while you go about your life. Even though if I have an AirPod in, I go about my life anyways and just hear the music, I guess. So if you don't want to hear the music, then whatever. But some hold music is honestly really good. Just depends who you call, I guess. Then you also have scam phone screening. So if a scammer calls you, the phone will answer for you, so you don't have to answer, and it'll figure stuff out for you. So that's also very interesting. I'm very glad to see that Apple has finally come around to doing this, 10 years later. Next up is macOS Tahoe. Again, you have the really pretty design. You have that liquid glass. The dock on top is clear. Why didn't they make the dock clear on the iPhone? Who knows? Maybe next year. I hate the little dock on the bottom of the iPhone. And so now the dock on top of the Mac is clear, making the app look bigger. You have live activities on the Mac. You have the phone app on the Mac and the iPad now, which is cool. The Mac has a lot of new features with shortcuts and Spotlight, and they went really in depth in that, more in depth than I will ever use on my Mac. And it's really cool. Again, to me, the biggest thing is the look. I am a big looks guy. The customization in video game, that's my favorite part of the video game, is the customization aspect. I love that. And so the way macOS now looks is really, really cool. And it's also gone to iPadOS 26. So iPadOS 26 is more Mac-like than ever, finally. I can finally kind of see what they're gonna do with the M4 chip in the new iPad Pros. So the new iPadOS has this thing where it can do exporting documents and stuff like that in the background, which is really, really cool. You can export in the background while you go about your day doing other stuff on your iPad without your iPad being held hostage on that screen while the thing is uploading. Essentially, they're using live activities for that, and I think that's really awesome. I'm very happy to see that they're finally doing something more with that. Also, multitasking is now usable on the iPad. Before, it was just not usable. Now, Apple's making their products actually usable. What an idea. So it's now, you can infinitely resize the windows. You can corner the windows, have a window in all 4 corners. You can drag them anywhere. You can do all of these things with them. Then you have the little red, yellow, green little things on the side to resize them, close them. And that's all. it's more Mac-like than ever. One day we'll get to the best of the best, but this is so much closer than what we've ever been. And I'm very excited to be able to use an iPad in a very Mac-like way, in a very, crazy to say, usable way. It's incredible. The Files app on the iPad was also redesigned, has a really nice animation. You have the Preview app on the iPad now. Again, all good things on the iPad. One of the biggest updates we've had to iPadOS in a while. And again, liquid glass looks awesome. Then now the lock screen on iPhone, iPad, the lock screen, the time changes with the lock screen, with the size of the time changes with the lock screen, changes with how many notifications you have stacked up. A lot of really interesting things like that, which really interesting, really cool. Wish they could have done more. It's okay that they didn't. Widgets are now glassy. You have clear icons as an option. Really cool, really interesting. Very excited to see what more they will do in the future with this. To me, all of this really feels like the buildup for maybe what next year is going to be. iPadOS, watchOS, phoneOS, iOS 27. That'll be the 20th year of iPhone, right? No, iPhone, I guess. I don't know right now. But Apple can't do a huge change overnight. Your phone updates to watchOS, iPhoneOS, iOS 26, and all of a sudden everything's changed. They can't do that. So they have to do minor changes. This year they did, the new glassy redesign. It's just a texture change. It's not completely different, but it's different enough to satisfy some people, but not that different to piss other people off. And so they'll let you sit with that for a year. And I'm hoping next year they do even more changing and maybe do like a big redesign over 3 years to kind of ease it in. I feel like that's what they're doing. I'm super excited to see what they will do in the next 2-3 years. Again, I don't know why they changed the naming scheme, but whatever, here we are. So I'm curious to know, what do you think in the comments down below? Did I miss a feature that you're really excited for? Was this just the disappointment to you? Oh, by the way, Apple Intelligence still exists. Who cares? And Siri is not any smarter, but that's fine. Oh, lastly, one of my favorite new features, finally, is visual intelligence able to be used with your phone screen. It's not just something you take a picture of. So I've ran into this issue a million times, and I'm very excited and very happy that it has been changed. So that was all of my thoughts, all of my feelings on WWDC 2025. I'm really curious to know what you think in the comments down below. Were you disappointed? Were you excited by it? Was there anything that I missed? What is your favorite feature? Let me know. I'm Jake. This is Shot on My Phone.